hate it.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Reel Down on Paddle and Fin. How you doing, Jimmy?
Pretty good, man. How you doing?
Yeah, doing good. Life, stuff.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah. But good besides that. Weather's starting to cool down a little bit. We were just talking before the show that the water's getting a little bit cooler. Fall bites starting to happen.
I know, it's so exciting.
Huh?
I'm glad the heat's gone. That's really, like, it was like 80 something yesterday, and I was like, well, this sucks. Like, go away. I'm ready for the fall weather.
Yeah, like the 40s this week, the low, like high 40s. I know some people might be watching like, oh, that ain't nothing, but this is Alabama.
I was going to say, you Northerners, chill out. We got it.
Yeah.
We know.
Like 40s in September. That's, that's pretty chilly down here.
Alabama doesn't see that often.
That's usually like
January. We had tornadoes on like the first week of December 2 years ago. So this is a nice change.
Yeah. All right. So we'll give it just another minute for everybody to log in. Adam Cawley, how you doing, man? Watching on YouTube. And if you're watching tonight, go ahead and like and share. If you have any questions for the people that we're going to have on tonight, please ask away. And all right, so we'll go ahead and get started here. And I'm going to read the whole description here because some people might not know what this is. So because it's not around here, so we didn't know all the information yet, and we're excited to be talking to these people about it. So tonight we're having on the 5 winning anglers from the Indiana Kayak Anglers team who won the Crossroads Kayak Bass Team Classic on San Chris Lake. And what that is, here's the Tourney X description, the whole deal. So let me get this out of here. All right. The Crossroads Kayak Bass Team Classic, CKBTC. I like that. It's like a boy band. And it is a 4-state regional championship made up of qualifying organizations across Wisconsin, Illinois, I never say that right, Indiana, and Michigan. The event is the first of its kind in the Midwest and fills a void that kayak bass fishing tournament anglers have been missing. Each of the top 10 participating kayak bass fishing organizations will qualify a team of 5 anglers, so 10 different clubs. The 5 highest in AOY make a team, 10 teams. And they're taken from AOY point rankings. This is the second annual event, and it was held on San Chris, which is a power plant lake, I believe. Big fish there. And it's a 2-day tournament. And the team that won the event, Indiana Kayak Anglers, next year they're going to host it. And that's a tradition that they want to keep going. And the qualifying organizations, the 10 clubs, were Topwater Series from Michigan. Good, if nobody's listened to it, good podcast, by the way. Michigan Kayak Trail, they're also up in Michigan. MIOH Kayak Anglers. Mio. There you go. God dang, why can't I say that? Also from Michigan. Grassroots Bass Yakin, Grubby from Indiana.
Sounds like my kind of club.
Yeah. Southern Indiana Yak Anglers Club, SIAC in Indiana. Indiana Kayak Anglers, the folks we have on tonight. Obviously from Indiana. Kayak Bass League, KBL, Illinois. Southern Illinois Kayak Club, SIAC. Midwest Kayak Bass Club, MKBC, and Wisconsin Kayak Fishing Club, WKFC. I like saying that in acronyms. Fun the right way.
Sounds like radio stations you're reading off.
Yeah. 106.1
WKFC.
So the winning team, the guys we have on tonight from Indiana Kayak Anglers, Jason Young was our captain, and everybody, if you want to say a prayer to him, he had heart surgery today, but he's doing good, made it out of there good from what we hear. Matt Gibson, Ryan Platt, Aidan Darlington, Nick Matthews, and Clint Stafford. So here we go. We'll bring everybody on. There we go. How y'all doing, guys?
Excellent.
Well, good. How you doing?
Good. Well, thank you for being on. And we'll just kind of go around here. We'll start with Nick. If you want to give us a little bit how you got into kayak fishing, and a little bit about yourself.
How did you get into kayak fishing?
Yeah, kayak fishing. Good thing.
Well, I got into kayak fishing back in 2015 when I started fishing IKA. And I mean, it just really grown from then. I was just fishing the normal club back in 2015, which there was only 10 people in the club. And the first tournament I fished, there was only 10 people. And then I've grown all the way up to been fishing Hobie events last year and this year. And I've been doing pretty good. So.
And you're TOC qualified, right?
Yep, this year. Yep.
And where do you live in Indiana? Not that I know where it's at, but you can
in north of Indianapolis, Noblesville.
Okay, cool. So is everybody Colts fan? Colts fans? Is that? Oh, some head shakes.
Oh, no.
Sorry, I shouldn't have brought that up. All right, Ryan, how about you, man?
I started kayak fishing back in 2016. I got into it because I kept bugging my wife to let me buy a bass boat. She kept saying no, so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna buy a kayak then. And then started kind of fishing around. Then I started fishing around, and I just Googled clubs, kayak clubs, and I found IKA. And then next year I fished a couple tournaments. I ended up loving it, and been fishing IKA since 2017.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Clint?
I'd love to know how many people actually have the same story of how'd you get in a kayak? Well, my wife would let me buy a boat. So
I had a boat. My wife said it was too expensive, so I went down to a kayak.
see, that falls in the same category.
Yeah, same thing.
How about you, Clint? I see you're a hunter back there.
Yeah, I do a little bit of everything. I got into it. I've probably been fishing out of a kayak since the early 2000s. Just started out with a little Dunham's kayak. You sit in, and then I started fishing the IKA last year. Aaron got me started on that. So I did a couple last year, and then this is really the first year I've done all of them. So I've enjoyed it. Yeah. Did better than I thought I was going to do. But other than that, I just been fishing here and there. I fished the river a lot, White River.
Okay.
And
Hobie had a tournament there last year, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I got in the Hobie satellite tournament.
Yeah. Cool. How about you, Matt? Team New?
Hey, yeah, I've gosh, I can't even remember when I started kayak fishing now, honestly. But I was lucky enough I grew up on the water, so I've been fishing my whole life. I can't remember a time that I am not a Cleveland Browns fan. Actually a Bears fan. But I'm
sorry.
Yeah, I know.
They're Nick Foles bringing them through.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, I can't remember a time I haven't fished, and fished multi-species and just been fishing, like I said, basically my whole life. I can't remember now when my first IKA season was. I think it was 15 or 16 is when I started with those guys. And, once I got into it, there's no turning back now. Like, I used to be a boat guy, but I wouldn't own a boat if you gave it to me, man.
Yeah, I'm same way. I'm not going back. And what is that back behind you? Are those like hot sauces or beers or?
That's
Yeah.
That's
brandy.
No, it's my wife's wine.
Oh, okay. And Aidan and hanging out in the ladies' dorms. How you? So tell us about yourself.
I got started about the same time as Nick. Actually, we both got into it right together with the start of IKA. So I started back in 2015. Fished their first event ever. I've fished every single one since, and I've kind of grown with the sport, I guess. It's been a really cool experience to see it start off, as Nick said, with 10 guys in an event, leading up to this point.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
So here we already have a question, and everybody, please like and share and ask any questions that you have for these guys. So since y'all won, next year you get to have it wherever you want to. Where's it going to be?
It says lake. It doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I'm not sure that has to be a lake, so we'll see.
Illinois guys, we're from Indiana. We like rivers around here.
All right. It sounds like it's going to be the goal to keep it in the house, huh?
Yeah.
We've already had one person mention it, but we'll get to it in a little bit about technically it should have already been in y'all's house again. So, but we can touch on that whenever y'all want to.
Yeah, go ahead and say it. Like, so y'all should have won. You could have won last year, but there was a DQ, right?
Yeah, so I got DQ last year for fishing water that I should have not fished, for not reading the rules as much as I should have. And I got DQ'd on the second day, and we ended up getting third, even with my DQ of my second day total being eliminated last year. So I had
flexed.
Yeah, I had the 87 inches the second day last year. So
well,
when I got disqualified,
live and you learn, man.
Yep.
I'm sure it's a mistake. You won't make it again. And nobody, I'm sure you didn't do it on purpose. So
no, I did not do it on purpose.
How far? Like, not that it would matter. I mean, DQ's a DQ. But were you like way in?
I went about 10 yards in, fished it for 5 minutes. The tournament director came and disqualified me on the water with 2 hours to go.
That's even worse.
So wait, did they know, like, they were expecting somebody to hit it, so they were watching it?
I don't want to get into that. But,
all right.
There sounds like there's so much more there.
It was my fault. I should have read the rules. So
yeah.
Right. No.
Water under a bridge, man. So y'all won this year, and so if some people have never been there, we've never been there. Can you tell us about St. Chris Lake?
Oh, it was.
Yeah, the lake.
Yeah, it was a good body of water.
Yeah, it was like we said earlier. It was a power plant lake, so I guess it must stay warm relatively all year because those fish they seemed like they were just constantly growing because they were either huge or just like relatively deformed. It's kind of interesting. But it fished real well in my opinion.
I had seen some other pictures where people had big fish, right? Like,
oh yeah,
abnormally large fish for Indiana, right?
Yeah, Ryan had an absolute giant. What was yours, Ryan? I forget, 20?
21.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that's for the Midwest. That's a huge fish, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's a giant fish here.
So how does it lay out? Is it grassy, deep, rocky? What do you got?
It's kind of depending on the part of the lake you're in, but there's just a lot of overhanging wood, some laydowns, not too much grass really, not super deep. At least most of the areas I fished.
Yeah, like I know a lot of us all fished in the same area. Like I fished the middle arm, so the lake's pretty much split up into three like main arms, and the one I was in was the central arm. And for the most part, like the lake's, it looks relatively natural. There's not like any riprap for the most part, except for like where the power lines are. But it's got like no docks or anything like that, so it's just like a lot of natural looking shoreline. So that's kind of why you have to have electronics on that lake. I think that really helped in that scenario. Yeah, at least for me, because I know I was looking deep, and for the most part, looking for stuff you couldn't see. But there was a lot of wood. Like I think trees were just kind of all around, like trees in the water, like just wood was the all around ticket for everybody, I'd say.
Heck yeah.
So who had the big bag of the tournament? What was it, you, Aidan?
No, I didn't have anything too crazy either. I think the KBL, or was it KBL guys had?
Was it?
I don't recall off the top of my head. I apologize. Who had the biggest?
Yeah, I think it was one of the KBL guys on day 2 had a really, really nice
yeah, Perfect Tharp had a really good day too.
That's right.
Yeah.
Old Pooty Tharp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all right. So kind of it's hard. I'm trying to figure out how to do this with so many people. We've never had so many. We'll start with you, Nick, and we'll just work around like from day. Kind of give us a quick rundown of day 1 and 2, and what are some techniques that work for you?
Day 1, I started off with a buzzbait and caught 4 off that early in the morning, and then moved over to dragging a Cinco in about 2 feet of water as slow as I could with the wind. I mean, the wind was pretty bad on day 1, and I just drug the Cinco, black Cinco, in about 2 feet of water as slow as possible. That lake was pretty shallow, even like about 15 feet offshore, 10 to 15 feet offshore. It was still about 2 feet of water. So That's all I did day 1 and day 2. I didn't catch any early on a buzzbait early in the morning. I just drug a Cinco day 2 all day. So
like bait casting gear?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, on a 16th ounce weight, and I just drug it all day as slow as possible.
God, well, something can be said that this man has a way more patience than I do.
Yeah, young guy with that kind of patience. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Brian, how about you, man?
Brother and I talk about my day 1. It's probably the worst day of fishing I had in a tournament, and probably since my first year of tournament fishing. I only caught 3 fish. Couldn't even get the 5 fish limit. Seemed like everything I thought would work just didn't work. Just couldn't get bit. So then on day 2, I decided to go to the second launch location we go to, just a different part of the lake. And I was lucky enough to get a buzzbait bite real quick. Was able to fill a limit within about an hour. And then just started kind of flipping around the wood, the trees that are there with just started flipping in there with a creature bait, and was able to get a couple of good call ups. Was able to get that 21 incher, and then it kind of solidified my day there. So
heck yeah.
And kind of it like the team deal. A lot of people have fish teams, and I did one, the KBBT, not too long ago, when all of us are spread out. But it's tough fishing a team tournament. Like it's kind of it puts some extra stress on you, right?
It does, especially with me not getting a limit. Everybody else had a limit. I feel like I dragged the team down, and I was pretty down after day 1. But luckily, all the guys were great. Kind of picked me back up, and I went in day 2 with the mindset of just get out there and just go out there and try and find them. And I was lucky enough to get on the bites on day 2 that I couldn't find the first day. So,
well, that's awesome.
That's kind of the same thing I felt like. It was an added stress that I didn't expect. Like whenever you suck and it's just you, it's like, I had a bad day. It is what it is. But whenever you let your team down, it's like, bringing back old memories of like baseball or football or different sports,
Oh, yeah. Sure.
How about you, Clint?
Day 1 wasn't too bad. It was right when I started, I caught about 6 right off the bat on a shaky head. And then I kind of worked around the edges with that, and I caught a few more, and I caught my limit, and then it slowed down off that, and they quit biting it. So I was talking to the guys, and they told me to put on Cinco, and I started throwing it in the wood, and I called a few of them for the day, and that's pretty much what I did the rest of the day. I threw that Cinco on day 1, and then I struggled on day 2 a little bit. They weren't biting a shaky head for me, so I caught one right off, a decent one, a 15.5 on the Cinco in the wood, and then I couldn't get any more bites on that in the wood. So I was getting a little worried. It was kind of slow, and I didn't want to get my limit, so time's ticking down. So I got out the drop shot, and all the shad that were pushed up in them arms and the little flats, I just went up in there and I shook that shaky head around for a while, and I caught my limit. And then I didn't catch any bigger fish the rest of the day, but I wanted to get my limit, just to be sure.
Every inch counts in that kind of setup.
Yeah.
So shaky head.
I didn't catch another keeper after the last 12 incher on the drop shot. So, but I pulled it out.
You have a certain shaky head and worm you're partial to?
What's that?
Do you have a favorite shaky head and worm combo?
I was throwing a slider head, 1/8 ounce with a 7-inch power worm on it.
Okay.
Blue fleck. Yeah.
And did y'all
seem to like it pretty well?
Yeah.
Were y'all able to communicate on the water?
Yeah, it was tough. Cell coverage was spotty to say the least. I mean, you would be in one part of the lake and you'd have no cell reception. You'd roll over the other, and all of a sudden 7 text messages would come through. So it was pretty tough out there on the water unless we were fishing close to each other.
Gotcha.
Well, Matt, how was your day 1 and 2?
Yeah.
My bad, Dan.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Yeah, so day 1, I mean, it was kind of an average day for me. I got a few bites early in the morning, but they came unbuttoned. Kind of, those thoughts started turning in your head. Man, I got to get this limit. Can't let these guys down. And then finally found some stuff late. Basically for me, it was a balsa PH custom square bill.
Big money.
And yeah, and then also, a buzz bait. I really didn't get bit on the first day. Second day, it was pretty key for me. But the first day, really didn't get a whole lot of bites on it. And then a secret lure stupid tube, a flipping tube, rig stupid style. Day two, it was like the lake just flipped for me almost. You started catching fish right off the bat. Noticed that I was getting kind of short stroke on a 1/4 ounce buzzbait, which is kind of my go-to. And with the wind the way it was, I went to a really big buzzbait and started getting some good bites on it. Got 19 1/4 bite on it, and kind of stuck with that square bill a little bit, and then the tube as well on the second day really got some key fish for me.
And awesome. you had been on another paddle and fin show talking about the tube, right?
Yeah, it's deadly, man. If you guys haven't thrown it where you're at, I would highly recommend it.
I've caught myself listening to that show and then listening to some of the older guys talk about throwing them. And I kind of messed with it at the beginning of the year in skinny water, and I was just using them on like a Ned rig.
Okay.
And I probably wasn't throwing it in the right time, but I could see how it was working. I caught a couple small fish on it, but it definitely opened my eyes up to I'm wanting to give it a try. Different time of the year, different, a little bigger tube.
Yep. Yeah. So like in the river here, I throw the 3.7. I was throwing the 4.2. With a little bit stouter hook in it there. But yeah, I mean it's deadly, and it gets bites, and it gets quality bites too.
I definitely, I'm a big Texas rig jig fishing guy. It's definitely something I want to give a swing, because I could almost guarantee that there's not a lot of people around here throwing it. So if anything, it just being different could be the key for me.
I had some absolute giants on Flint River down in Georgia on it. One came unbuttoned, but I mean, I think you guys get a lot of bites down there on it. So I was rigging it what we call stupid style. It's kind of a Midwestern thing a little bit. It's starting to grow out a little bit. So basically, it's an internal jig head that goes inside of the tube, so you don't have anything on top of the tube at all. So it fishes really well in cover and weeds and anything, because you don't have that sinker. So the weight's inside of the tube.
And is that a certain brand?
So the brand is Secret Lures. So secretlures.com. And they've got all the tubes there. They got recommendations for jig head sizes with the actual tubes themselves.
Awesome.
That's something I've used a gambler tube for bed fishing, things like that, spawn, that time frame. But I don't know why that technique doesn't get more play down here like you're saying it should.
And I tell you what, if you fish docks too, you can skip that thing a mile.
Huh.
Yeah, that's the one thing I did notice about even the small one. I was the dude, you could skip it so well.
Yep. But it was all about covering water for me. I was telling these guys, it seemed like the more water, the new water I covered, the bigger the fish got. And I used the pivot drive this weekend, and man, that thing saved me in that wind.
I love mine.
Yep, I could get around. It's smooth. Honestly, I beat the hell out of it, and it took the beating. So.
Yeah, right. It's definitely an underrated piece of equipment for sure.
Yep.
How about you, Aidan?
Well, day one, I started out. It started out kind of slow for me, honestly. It took me a while to get my 5. It took me a while to get my 5 both days. I was fishing a lot, very similar to Nick, dragging that Senko real slow. But I'm not as skilled as he is, unfortunately, with it. So, but I got my first 3 on day one pretty, I would say they were kind of quick, but it took me a while to get the second 2. But day 2, I got 3 of them, I think, by noonish, and I was fishing around, and Nick had his 5, and I saw him catch a 20 and a quarter or something like that across the lake. And right there, I broke off a good one, so I figured that would be a decent area. So I ended up sticking it out in that spot for the rest of the tournament. And like these guys were saying, like for the most part, the bite was you just had to cover water to to find these fish. It wasn't really like a lake where you'd pull up on a spot and catch 2 or 3. You'd catch like 1 or so out of a pile or a brush pile, and you'd have to move on. But I started fishing the stick because I broke off a decent fish, or what felt like a decent one, but I figured I might be able to get him to bite later. So I sat there on it for a while, and I ended up pulling my entire limit off of this one stick on day 2. It's kind of ridiculous. It's like I was just telling everybody it's like the magic stick, but I just thought that was kind of neat for me at least. And they were again all on that Senko, just moving it ridiculously slow, just like a couple inches at a time. Just painful, but it was worth it.
Yeah, well, props to you guys because there's no way I could. Like, I like to say I fish a Senko pretty slow, but I don't fish it that slow, and I don't know if I have the ability to fish it that slow. Like, I could probably do it for
usually I don't like it. Yeah.
Is it a 5 or 6 inch that y'all were throwing?
I was throwing a 5 inch.
5.
I like that's like my the best size to me. The 4 sometimes gets it done, and then I've thrown some of the what is it, like the 6 inch, the big fat Senkos, and that's just one thing. It works, but my God, it's expensive.
Yeah. So how big is that lake? I mean, was everybody, all the 10 teams, able to spread out, or was it?
I think it was 93 miles of shoreline, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
like 93 or 96 miles of shoreline. So it was a big lake, especially in a kayak. And there's boat tournaments both days, and it seemed like there's still plenty of water to go around.
That's awesome.
There were 2 ramps that we were allowed to launch from for our event, and they were both located in separate arms. So like they were pretty far away from each other. So I felt like we weren't like fishing on top of each other too bad, honestly.
But everybody had to launch for those 2.
Say what? Sorry.
Everybody had to launch for 2 places.
Yeah, from those, had a couple other ones as well, but we were just restricted to those 2. I think it was because of the boat tournament.
Yeah.
Okay. And that y'all usually have to like permits and all that, right? Up there.
I'm not familiar with the Illinois rules. I mean, we're all from Indiana, so.
Yeah, in Illinois, the way I understand it, they got some interesting rules as far as how many kayaks can take out or put in at a certain ramp. I think they cap it at like 50. So it's strange, right? So
how would they do? How would they know?
No idea.
Yeah,
no idea.
They're paying some DNR guy way too much to drive around.
I mean, yeah. Good Lord. But so I guess it makes sense. They're just saying 2 ramps and 50 people a ramp, and 100 anglers. So or 5. Yeah. Well, yeah, 25 per.
There's a Mississippi math skills coming out.
No, there's 10 teams, 5 people a team, 50 25 people per ramp. Yeah. Come on, man. It ain't that tough. I'm from southern Mississippi, not where it's real bad, north Mississippi. But
well, that's a pretty cool little setup, though. I didn't know anything about it, and then Dan brought it up, so I kind of looked into it a little bit. But the team aspect of that seems like it was, especially like how you're all like having a launch from the 2 ramps. I don't know. I kind of like common launch every now and then. Like we do small tournaments around here where everybody will just take off from one spot, and you can kind of see where someone's going, and obviously not go over there and like mess up their fishing, but like if they did good on day 1, you could examine what kind of area they're fishing to use to your advantage, or you could go goof off with them if it's people stuff like that. It's just different. You hear about all the open launch stuff, and it's cool to see that some stuff's still going around like that.
There you go. 50 anglers max on Illinois tournament.
There you go.
Crazy, man.
That's so strange.
How did the team stuff? Let's say Nick, it sounds like you're the one who figured out the Senko bite, right? Was that kind of?
It was honestly Aidan, and I kind of built up off of it.
Okay. So,
Yeah, a little bit of practice time in. I got there like a little bit before, and I caught a real good one on a Senko like in 30 minutes of fishing the lake. So I was like, all right, throw a Senko tomorrow. So Nick likes throwing Senko, so I just thought I'd tell him that, and he just ran with it.
but maybe that's tough because so Aidan tells Nick, Nick's like, "Oh yeah, I love dragging a Senko. That's my jam. I'm all about that bite." And then Ryan gets a text and he's like, "Dude, I don't even have a damn Senko in this boat. What am I going to do?" Or how, like, you're not used to that technique. So does that help you or does that hurt you? Because you know they're biting one thing, but that's not something that you do. How do you overcome that? Like,
Well, let me tell you, Nick has a rolling
shaky head, right?
Nick has a rolling tackle shop with him. So I mean, I think it is impossible for us not to have Senkos.
Yeah.
He's probably got the little Apple swipe thing on his phone. Paddle up to. Well, talking about that, if you've got your, you got a rolling tackle shot with you, let's start with Nick. What boat are you in?
A Hobie PA 14360.
Hey, that'll hold.
Yeah, he had to throw in a 360. It's not just an MD 180; it's a 360.
Yep.
All right.
Big money, big money. What about you, Ryan?
All right.
I'm an Old Town Predator PDL.
Awesome.
There you go. So two speedy guys there. How about you, Clint?
Wilderness Radar 135.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
those are great boats. You just don't hear a lot of people talk about them anymore.
They just came out with a new Radar,
like
right?
it.
Yeah.
They got the new Recon or something like
Recon.
that.
Okay. I have a question.
What about which new model were you in, Matt?
I was in Pursuit this weekend with Pivot Drive.
Heck yeah.
But in all fairness, I mean, if Nick and Aidan flipped a styrofoam cooler over, they'd still probably kick us pretty good in the tournament. I mean, they are absolute sticks.
And Aidan, how about you, man? Sun Dolphin?
Out of a Coos FD by Jackson.
Okay. All right.
Y'all got a nice little mix going.
Yeah. Got the Jackson guy in there.
I was honestly figuring I was going to hear the Hobie thing thrown out a bunch. But no, that's pretty cool. Well, y'all did an awesome job, man. I like the whole setup of it, and I wish before that was asked earlier, I was gonna see if y'all would say where y'all were gonna announce it would be held next year, but it seems like you may want to hold on to that information.
You don't want to let people be practicing the same time of year. It would be.
It sounds like these guys may have everybody's number no matter what.
Yeah.
Basically 2 years in a row.
Yeah, could have been.
If he'd have moved out 10 yards, he'd have been fine.
Yeah.
I won't keep bringing it up.
So
I know how stuff like that gets, man.
I know if, let's say you pick a team, let's say 5 friends make a team, and you go fish a tournament together, and you share a house or whatever. But y'all aren't necessarily friends. You might know each other, but y'all were put together. How is that? I mean, were y'all renting a house together and sharing? Like somebody might not. I don't know. Let's say somebody doesn't know Ryan, and y'all 4 know each other, and nobody knows Ryan. That's got to be like a strange dynamic to add into it too, right? Or are y'all just all homies?
We're all pretty good, especially IK. We're all we're decent. I think we're all decent individuals, and we all get along. Like we all shared a campsite, and there's no problems, and we're just a great group of guys who all love to fish. So it wasn't strange or anything weird about it.
Except for Aidan, he looks like a troublemaker.
Yeah, no, I my car. It's weird. No.
Me and Aidan actually grew up together too. So,
yeah. Well, I think one of the things with IK is we have a lot of community interaction. I guess with our anglers. After the tournaments, we always have. Well, not this year, unfortunately, but in the past, we usually have the captain's meeting, and it's just like a good community, and everybody gets to know each other there, and we have boat shows here and demo days and whatnot. It's just the whole kayak community is it's just pretty intertwined. So nobody's that much of a stranger. I'd say everybody kind of knows each other. So
that's awesome. We have a lot of that down here in Alabama. Our North Alabama club's pretty good about that. Like you said, we usually do the captain's meetings live, and the weigh-ins are live, and we do demo days and things just like you're saying. So I can see where you're saying y'all all kind of already knew each other. I feel like with our local club, there's not really anybody that you could throw in the mix that I wouldn't already know somehow be okay to share a house or campsite with.
But what if one of the people who got the guy who got 5th in AOY is somebody nobody liked? How would that go? That'd be awkward.
I mean, that's the best way to look at it. But I don't think we really have anybody like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. So do y'all have some? Joel's asking. Do y'all have some like weird plans to take the like the trophy everywhere?
Oh
like
man, years ago they made it
Stanley Cup or whatever.
heavy. It's a beast. Moving that things around is quite a hassle. But I think we're gonna do just like trade it off every once in a while because we've got until next year. We've got a while with it, so we'll see. Yeah,
That's awesome.
So who has the trophy now?
I've got it right now. It's in my apartment up at Purdue.
Okay. Oh, Purdue Boilermaker. What's up?
Yep.
I know. I think that's their name. I'm not sure.
Oh,
I know Drew Brees went there. So. All right. So what do y'all have? I know, Nick, you've got the Hobie coming up this week. What does everybody else have going on the rest of the year? So the club's done. Is there anything else going on in Indiana to fish, or is it kind of shut down and Clint's going hunting?
It's getting ready to start hunting.
Yeah.
I believe Gerby, one of the clubs that was fishing this event, they have their series championship in late October. So I believe I'll be fishing that.
Yeah, that would be a cold one for sure in late October.
But
I'll be going down to Gunnersville, was that next week for the national championship?
Okay. Do you have it figured out where you're going to go yet? Have you ever been there?
Never been there. I got a whole bunch of places pinned on Google Maps that kind of look good, so I'm gonna go there a few days early, kind of check out as many ramps as I can, and just go from there.
That's like the best advice you could have for that place, because it's hard to find something that doesn't look good on Google Maps for Gunnersville.
Yeah, I found that problem. It just looks juicy everywhere.
The lake's setting up really good right now. I was there.
Yeah, he caught a 23 last week.
Yeah, it's
nice.
like frog fishing was on. They had the Spro Frog tournament there, and it was kind of crazy. A lot of the guys were catching their fish and frogging in open water, and I was treating it just like it was a hot day. It was only in the 70s, and I just paddled out into some loose, dead grass and everything, and it was loaded up. And just driving around, there's a lot of places that I fished that looked like that. And with the way the weather, we had a little bit of rain, but I think it'll probably hold out. But there is a big cold front coming in, and then the elite series is there.
Yeah, so is it this weekend?
Yeah, I'm curious to see what that because they've got their pre-fishing and 4 days of fishing. So Gunnersville.
Yeah, I'll be watching Bass Live a lot probably this weekend, just checking everything out.
Yeah, that's great for a lot of people. You're going to get firsthand view. People are probably going to take vacation who are fishing the NC just to watch Bass Live.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing about Gunnersville. Like, there's fish everywhere. You can spread out.
Anywhere you throw in Gunnersville, you have the potential for catching a life-changing fish. There's big fish in there. And then a lot of it's hard to say that there's honey holes in just like when they did the classic there this year, and what was his name? Hank
Cherry.
Yeah, Hank Cherry. There was no secret to where he was fishing. The tournament's been won there so many times. Like, it's just whoever gets there and figures it out first. So you can, especially in a kayak, man, you could probably break down any of those pins you got and find a winning day out there for sure.
Okay.
Just have to get in the right rotation, and hopefully there's not a bunch of people in the area tournament day. But
midday bite, man.
Yeah, there's not like a lot of dead water, so no matter where you go, you can. They're not going. It's not like a magic place. They're not going to jump in the boat. But there's it's so healthy. Yeah. There's fish everywhere. So whatever creek or whatever you choose, you'll find something.
Right on.
Yeah. So how about you, Clint? You done? Just woods?
It's probably mostly woods.
Yeah.
I'm going to Montana here in a couple of weeks too to go hunting. So
yeah, going for elk.
I got a full schedule.
So jealous.
Deer, mule deer.
Okay.
It's either whitetail or mule deer. Whichever you come across, I guess.
That's awesome.
Elk, man, that's too much work. People trying to bow hunt for elk, hanging out 2 weeks, maybe getting a shot if you're lucky. No, man, that ain't.
That's on my list, man.
It is a lot of
I've
work.
got to do that soon.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Worth it if it happens,
Heck yeah.
How about you, Matt?
As far as tournaments go, I'm probably down for the year, unless something pops up. But I fish till it freezes, and then once it freezes solid, I'll get on top of it and fish, ice fish, and then once
I was fixing to say, once it freezes, I cut a hole in it and I keep fishing.
that's right. And then which we haven't had good ice for a little while, but and then once it thaws out, I'll be right back out on water. So I almost fish almost all year here as much as I can, anyways.
That's awesome.
That's going to say I wouldn't think Indiana would be like a big ice fishing place. So kind of on.
It can be. Some years it depends on the year. Some years you get good ice and you can ice fish all up till March. Other years, like the last few years, I think I've been out on the ice once in the last 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah, and it varies kind of where you go in the state. Like down there in Bloomington and all that, that's going to be all junk ice. Yeah, and then you get up, even here in central Indiana, it can be kind of mixed. And then kind of, where Ryan grew up in the northern part of the state, you have potential for some really good ice up there.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm hoping to make a trip up to Illinois later this year, beginning of next year, with some of our other hosts to give it a try. I never really thought about
guy.
Yeah, that's who I've been talking to. The way I was talking with him and Jay when we were on Kentucky Lake, and Jay said, "I ice fish." Brian is an ice fisherman, so he said he's loaded up with gear and all sorts of stuff. So they made it sound pretty awesome. So I like the cold weather doesn't really bother me at all. So
yeah, you like the drink?
Different.
Yeah,
do you like the drink?
Different? Good.
Yeah,
heck yeah. And that's another thing. If people don't know, we have a paddle and fin meetup on October 17th on Dale Hollow. So come on down. You can look on the paddle and fin page, get the information for that. Should be cool. $50 a night, and you can stay on a houseboat. We're going to have food, a little tournament.
we're gonna have seminars and music and
all that good stuff.
I think I just found out that they have a bar on site, so it's gonna be a great time.
Yeah. All right. So Aidan, I guess you're our last one besides going to school and hanging out in ladies' dorms. What do you have going on the rest of the year?
Yeah, I've just got the Recruity series or there's championship, and that's it for the tournament season for me. And then if we get good ice, I'll ice fish. But other than that,
all right. So, and we'll go back around one more time. We want to give everybody a chance to, say thank you to any sponsors, anybody that makes this easier for you. We'll start with you again, Nick, since you're up in the Brady Bunch right corner there.
Yeah, I just like to thank Sun Valley Sports here in Indy. They're the Hobie dealer that I'm on the Hobie fishing team with, and then they always will help anybody out with their Hobie, fixing anything they need, and they get it done quick too. So
very cool. I mean, that's definitely a good thing usually about Hobie is them parts are everywhere because they're all over the world. That definitely a good thing about the brand. Ryan, how about you, Butter?
Just got to thank my wife for letting me go out and fish and put up with all the stuff I have to buy, all the lures and tackle, and let me go out there and watch my son while I get pre-fishing and tournament fishing. So,
amen. Clint, how about
good women?
Yeah.
I just want to thank the IKA and, Moving Waters, anybody who sponsors the IKA. Oh, you guys, yeah. And, my wife, of course, because she deals with me all the time on the way. So,
and thank your taxidermist. See, you got a beautiful wall of death back behind you. It's nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's sorry, Ace Ventura reference. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matt, how about you?
Yeah, first off, I want to say get well to Jason Young. He just went through that today, and get well soon. But yeah, Moving Water Outfitters for not only sponsoring the series, but they also sponsored and covered some costs for us last weekend as anglers. So we got a bigger check because of that. So some of our entry fee didn't go into paying some of those fees; they paid it for all of Crossroads. So thank you for that. And then also personally, they've helped support me since they opened. So thank them. New Canoe. Without them, it'd be very, very difficult for me to do it. And honestly, just a great brand to be associated with.
That's right.
PH Custom Lures. If you're in the balsa at all, PH is the deal. And then Secret Lures, and they, as I mentioned, the Stupid Tube, you just get bit on it. And thank you for the support all year to all those guys. Really appreciate it.
Good deal.
And also you guys, I mean, thanks for what you guys do for the sport. It's awesome to have a kayak fishing podcast that you can listen to 7 days a week. It's awesome. So thanks to Paddle and Fin.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Aidan, how about you, man?
Well, I want to say thanks to everybody that runs this event. And like I've been fortunate enough to fish it both years, last year and this year, and it was absolutely awesome both times. Thanks to Susie, she did a great job with it, and like I said, it's just such a fun event. Like I look forward to it every single year. I hope I qualify again next year. It's just a lot of fun. And then I also want to thank Moving Waters Outfitters again. I've had the opportunity to fish with them for a couple of years now, and it's been a lot of fun. They do a lot for the sport in Indiana. They're sponsor for our local trail, IKA, and as Matt said, they are involved in sponsoring the Crossroads event too. So they're just really active in the sport, like overall. So just wanted to say thank you to them for that.
Very cool. All right. Well, we appreciate y'all guys, and I'm sure we'll have y'all on again for too long. And thank you for being here.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have you on next year when you bring it back.
There you go.
Yep. Can't wait.
On the New River?
Yep.
White River?
White River, baby.
Yeah.
White River. White River.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks. See you guys.
All right. There we go.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. Whenever I heard about this last year, and whenever me and Sam were talking about it, I'm surprised, it seems like something that would be fun to do at Crossroads Southeast.
Yeah, it would definitely be fun to do down here with the way Tennessee, Georgia, and Alabama, how seriously kayak fishing is taken down here. Like we've got that Tri-State Winter Series going on right now. It'd be cool to do it. And because the Alabama guys usually hate the Tennessee and Georgia guys, it's a football thing, but we could cross that over into fishing, so we could make a fun time out of it.
Yeah, you can get a Mississippi in there too, since they all they touch.
Oh yeah, no, we could do it all. Just leave them Florida guys down there though.
Yeah, keep them out. They're weird. Florida guy.
So is it I don't know if I heard that right. So that's not our Susie that was running that, was it?
Yeah, she.
Mm-hmm. Oh well, thank you, Susie.
The queen of Paddle and Fin.
She's never Paddle and Fin.
Yeah,
we wouldn't have had this cool show.
Yeah, she's a master judger.
Yeah, she's a master at just about everything.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so here we go. As always, going to talk about the winning. Go around the country. All the different clubs that have tournaments. I can't talk today, but except for classic tournaments, is all the clubs that had 30 people or more, and how they did. So first, kind of the big one was KBF Atlantic Region Super Trail on Smith Mountain Lake had 41 anglers. Congratulations, Casey Reed. He was on KBN tonight, so you can go back and listen to that. He was on at 7 Central, but he blew away the field with 168 and a quarter. Eric Nelson in second with 151 and 3/4, so he won by 17 inches. Yeah, it's obviously two day. And Bruce Steele in third with 150 and a half. Alabama Kayak Fishing Classic Championship Division on Neely Henry. And that's the top 10 in each club in the state of Alabama. Kind of the same thing, except it's not teams. The top 10 AOY from each club in the state. Had 41 anglers. And Iron City Kayak Anglers, my local club, he won Lance Cooley. And he had 59 and a quarter. He actually tied with Cooley McGowan. I don't know if they're related. They have this last name and first name. Yeah, I don't know. But he had 59 and a quarter as well, but Lance had bigger, bigger big fish. But Lance won Angler of the Year this year. He has also won the Classic before and Angler of the Year before. He's one of the best in the country. If he fished tournaments around the country, like national level events, he would be dangerous.
Dominate. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But a name you usually don't hear that often. Michael Cooper, third with 54 and a quarter, and then me, I sucked it up. I got 19th. We won't talk about that. I'm not going to complain. I literally missed no fish. It just didn't happen. I went out there. It was only a 3-fish tournament. 2 of my fish came in the last hour. So it was.
Hey, you fish clean. That's still.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Some days it doesn't come together. Just the big bites didn't show up. But congrats to Lance. And then Queen City KBF on Lake James, 79 anglers, 4-fish tournaments. Ronnie Murphy with 73 and a quarter. Jeremy Hughes with 69 inches, and Chris Godwin with 68 inches. Ontario Bass Nation Bassmaster Championship. I didn't know Ontario had a Bass Nation.
I think that it was. I know I've seen it pop up and go away on the Tourney X a couple of times, but I think that it's probably only a month or two ago, to my knowledge, that they got everything squared away for it. But I knew they had been messing with it.
Yeah, they did it, and they had 35 anglers. Michael Blumhagen with 69 and a quarter, Michael Morand with 74, and Richard Offner, that guy kills up there. He slays with 73 and a quarter. You had the NYKBF State Championship on Oneida, 41 anglers. Brandon Berlinski with 80 and 3/4, Benjamin Phillips 76 and a quarter, and Bo Conzareri with sorry Bo, 73 and 3/4. You had 10 cat, their classic, 17 anglers, 4-fish limit. Only 4 people caught 4 out of 17 in their classic. Former guest Jordan Marshall won it with 64 inches. Brent Long with 61 and a quarter, and Jason McCormick with 59 and 3/4. Then you had Central Arkansas Kayak Anglers. They had their championship on DeGray Lake. Only had 7 anglers because it's a championship. Terry Brown, 83 and a quarter. Jeff Otts, 77 and a half. And Stephen Dunlap with 63. 2 more. River Valley Kayak Anglers. They had their second annual Gellico, Kayak Classic, 26 anglers. Chris Jones, 74 inches. David Bird, 72 and 3/4. And Chris Nemeth, 72 and a half. And last but not least, a KBBT making the cut tournament bracket championship. Sherman Bishop won that with 95 and a quarter one day, 95 and a quarter. Marcus Coates, he won the last one, and he got second in this one with 81 and a quarter. And Brad Kennan and he got third. Didn't say the length because he fished on Saturday. It didn't, the way Tourney X works for them, it didn't say a number. But yeah, Marcus Coates, man, that guy.
Yeah, he's a stick.
Back to back brackets, and you're fishing every single week. I can't even imagine how many weeks he's fished a tournament in a row.
Yeah, he's definitely been on the water a bunch.
Yeah,
and then he said that he was, because he's been me and him have been talking. He's been trying to talk me into doing that next KBBT thing coming up, and I think he said he's broadcasting on this one or something like that. He's going to be doing it from the different angle. So
okay, there's my pastor listening in. Florida guys are weird. They are weird.
Amen.
They don't have Florida guy because it's a thing, Florida guy. So yeah,
it's always the crazy place you hear about on the news.
Yeah, Florida. I've been there, man. It is crazy down there. I love it though. I would probably move to Florida.
I think we lost Dan for a second. There he is.
I'm here.
There you are.
Yeah, but no, I love it down there. Maybe I'm hoping a big tournament has in the spring, like a late winter, like one of the first, like a Hobie Bassmaster or something like that. I hope they have a tournament somewhere down in Florida. I'd love to go down and.
I need an excuse to hit, like the Kissimmee chain or something.
Yeah, exactly. Or like Okeechobee. There's a lot of ramps. That'd be a fun place. It'd have to be Bassmaster. It'd have to allow motors. You couldn't really get very far because Okeechobee is so big. You'd have to have a motor. So I don't think that'd be great for a Hobie, but Bass, that'd be a great place for it.
I'd go either way just to say I've been down there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful lake. But yeah, thanks everybody. Thanks for watching. As always, just a reminder, we have that Paddle and Fin meetup on October 17th. Music, fun, tournaments, fishing, seminars, probably a lot of drinking, probably too much drinking. But yeah, that's going to be a hoot. So come on down. And thanks again to all the guys for coming on tonight. I'm sure we'll see them again. Definitely some hammers. And yeah, man, we'll talk to y'all for too long. So be careful out there and wear your PFDs and bring a splash bag. Since it's getting colder out there on water, bring some backup clothes, put them, do some research, bring some clothes, put them in a waterproof bag, keep them in your kayak, stay safe, and always wear your PFDs. All right. See y'all next time.